How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be looking at the DV Mark Jazz combos. So the one on the right is the Little Jazz. It's got an 8-inch speaker. The one on the left is the Jazz 12. It's got a 12-inch speaker. So basically these amps are the exact same except for the speaker and the cabinet. But the amplifier, the chassis itself is identical. I can prove it because if we come over here, look at the Little Jazz. It says DV Mark DV Little Jazz. Come over here, this is the Jazz 12. Still says DV Mark DV Little Jazz. So these amps are identical apart from the speaker size and the cabinet. Another difference is the back of the Little Jazz is ported. So as you can see, it's got those ports at the bottom, whereas the back of the Jazz 12, it's just an open configuration. You can just see that there. So before we get started, bit of a disclaimer, I am not a jazz guitarist. I don't really know how to play jazz. That's why I'm getting one of these amps, because I'm trying to get into it, try and learn it a little bit, and yeah, this guitar is also a carved top with humbuckers. It's not a jazz guitar. So I apologize, I know I'm demonstrating jazz amps, and I don't even jazz, bro. But bear with me, and hopefully you can still hear the difference between these two amps. It's interesting, you can kind of hear to me the Jazz 12 sounds a little more, like it fills the room a little bit more, but it sounds a little darker. And the Little Jazz sounds maybe a little more boxy, but a little more defined on the top end. Alright, I've gone ahead and bumped the tone, or the treble up on the Jazz 12. We're going to listen to that, and then we're going to try and match that tone with the Little Jazz. We bumped the tone up on the Little Jazz more. Let's listen to that. Yeah, man, the Jazz 12 just has like a warmer but also darker sound. It's really interesting. Alright, we changed the tone settings again. Little Jazz. To me, the Jazz 12 sounds a lot darker here, so I'm gonna try and mess with the controls and see if we can get it to sound like the Little Jazz. Alright, now I've set this amp to be as bright as I can get it. The DV Jazz amps are known to be a little darker in general. So we're going to see how bright each one goes. I imagine the Little Jazz will be a lot brighter, but let's see what happens. So I don't know how well you guys were able to actually hear. I hope pretty well, but my conclusion is the Little Jazz seems to have a lot more presence and definition in the high end. Seems like there's a little more note clarity in the higher notes and stuff, and on the treble side of things. But the Jazz 12 seems, well, it's definitely louder. The bass, they both have really good bass, but the bass on the Jazz 12 seems more dispersed. It seems to fill the room more, whereas the Little Jazz seems a lot more directional. So in some ways, the Jazz 12 sounds darker, but in some ways it sounds warmer because it's kind of more lush, and like I said, it just kind of disperses better. But the Little Jazz might sit in a mix better in like a band situation, might not get lost so easily amidst other instruments. But yeah, I don't know, they both sound really good. The Little Jazz definitely wins with the edge of portability, but as far as weight goes, both of these things Honestly, it's weird. The Jazz 12 feels lighter. I don't know what the actual difference is. I'm sure the Jazz 12 is slightly heavier, but they are both just ridiculously light amps. Like, it almost almost feels like they're empty. I don't know how they did it. But, yeah, I think that's pretty much what we've learned from today. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Thanks.